Hey everyone, welcome to March. Our newsletter for this month. We got a couple important updates for you, and then we got a handful of new features to explore together. Hope you're all doing well, staying healthy, and enjoyed your break from a couple weeks ago, and are looking forward to spring. So, I just want to dive right in. We had a recent email and some updates from Google that are worth noting as it relates to Google Translate. As you know, digital privacy is it's paramount for what the things we need to follow from either a protocol standpoint, a best practice standpoint, and certainly some compliance and regulations as well. And unfortunately, the full Google Translate tool is not part of the full Google suite of services, which fully cover our data privacy. It's seen as an additional service, and as such, we have to disable the full Google Translate tool for student access because of the privacy considerations involved. That does not mean that Google Translate is not available to students. It simply means they have to access it a different way, because the full tool was its own website that you can kind of go to and do different things on, which as staff members we can still take advantage of. But the difference is that with students is that because they can't access that direct website anymore, they have to use the Translate tool that's built into a Google search. And to make that a little bit easier for everyone, what we've done is within our HPS bookmarks folder, we've included a bookmark called Google Translate for staff and for students. And basically, when you visit that, it takes you directly into the Google Translate that's built into Google search, and it allows you to type. Certainly you can paste text in there. It even allows the spoken word in there to do translation back and forth. And so while that may be a habit adjustment for some folks that are used to directing students to go to full Google Translate, just have them go to HPS bookmarks to Google Translate and have that available to them in a quick pinch as needed. The other couple things that I wanted to talk about are more just the did you know type of area of using our Google tools. So one of the things I just found out myself recently is they have some shortcuts built into Chrome to quickly create documents. They have what they call .new shortcuts. And so if you type .new in the address bar at the top, if I could type today, .new, that's the ending of what we can use for this shortcut. And so, for example, if I do docs.new, it immediately gets me into a Google Doc and I can start typing right away. If I do sheets.new, it'll create a Google Sheet right away and I can get started on spreadsheet work. And as you might expect, if I do slides.new, a Google slideshow gets me going. If I do forms.new, a Google form gets me right away. If I do drawings.new, it'll get me into a new Google drawing right away. So it can be just a handy shortcut where you're like, hey, I'm working on a bunch of stuff right now. I don't have time to get in my drive and figure out where I want to put it. I just need to get started on something right away. You can use this .new type of URL shortener in there just as a quick way to get something going. It even works for calendar events too. So if you do cal.new, it'll create a new calendar invite right away, and so you can book something for meeting's sake in there. It works for Google Meet too. So if you do meet.new, it'll start an instant meeting. It's already live and you can invite people and join in right away. So some really interesting ways of navigating in Chrome that can hopefully be a leg up to make some things easier for you. The other thing I wanted to share is related to chips in Google Sheets. We've talked about this before as a nice little fancy way where Google gives us automatic resources based on the data that we put in. And one of the things they expanded on lately is when it comes to what they call people chips or automatic contact information bubbles. And so if I have a list of email addresses here, Google's going to get excited that it notices that these people exist, right? And we can do this thing where we convert to people chips. And if I do that, what happens at first is it just makes these bubbles in here. But where this gets interesting is that because it's smart data, we can go to format to our chips and we can say, hey, instead of seeing by email address, let's just see them by last name instead. And it can change that format for us right away. And so make it a little bit easier to automatically take the same data that's there, but just see it. We can see it by human level instead of just by email address. And then the nature of this people chip is if you hover over any of the bubbles there, it gives you a lot of information as well as some action steps based on what they give you here. So it can be a great way to add email addresses and contact information for people within a spreadsheet, but then take advantage of this information a little farther. And then the last thing I wanted to share with us today is a new feature that's coming soon in Screencastify. So from your class link, and if you visit Screencastify, we've talked about this tool quite a bit this year, and it's been something we've used the last couple of years. And it's been a great resource for creating video content, collecting video content from students, working with translations and automatic captions and some AI tools, some really interesting stuff they're doing. They're adding a feature to our subscription very soon called Premium Library. And you can access it just from the left-hand side when it's available. And basically what this allows us to do is to grab a video from YouTube and automatically use Screencastify's tools for that video. Tools such as adding a quiz to the YouTube video, time-stamping different pause points for checking for understanding, limiting skipping over it, and then naturally some analytics in terms of watch time and who's paying attention to it. So if you've ever had a YouTube video that you just send out and you want to make sure the students are using it as a resource, this premium library will let you take it another step further and actually give you some check for understanding points that you can take advantage of, and guarantee if some stats in terms of who's using it and watching it or not. So keep an eye out for that. Just available from Premium Library when it comes live for us. All right, and that's it for March. I hope you're doing well. Continue to meet with us either via training appointment or support ticket as you need help and assistance, and we'll be sure to help you as best we can. Take care, and we'll see you soon.